It is I, Tactical Metalhead, and today I am going to show you the basics of Ace Medical in Arma 3. Note, this video is targeted to members of Task Force Trauma, my tactical realism community that you can join from the links in the description below. If you are not a member of Task Force Trauma, just keep in mind that your personal settings may influence how this process works. There are two ways to begin treatment: Windows key for global interaction, and H as in hotel for the medical menu. The medical menu doesn't always work. There are many different factors that cause it to fail, such as extremely intense missions, mildest incompatibilities, server memory capacity, etc. The medical menu can be used, but it will not be taught in this tutorial because of this issue. Step 1. Identify if the casualty is alive. Check the patient's interactions option near their pelvis. If drag and carry are available in the list, the patient is alive. Do not check the pulse of the patient because you might false read somebody in cardiac arrest for being killed in action. If the casualty is alive, move on to step 2. If they are dead, grab their dog tags and move on. Step 2. Assess wounds and stop the bleeding. Top left of your screen will show you wounded areas. Bandages are used to treat wounds located at the head or torso, while tourniquets are used to cut off the blood flow of wounded limbs. Bandage head and torso wounds and tourniquet wounded limbs regardless of injury severity. Step 3. Get a pulse. Check the head or torso for the pulse. Never check the limbs because you might accidentally check a tourniqueted limb for a pulse, which will always be 0. If they do not have a heart rate, call for a combat medic and provide CPR. Always check the patient's pulse after every repetition of CPR. The combat medic will put saline in an available limb. If the patient's blood loss is red, they require 2,000 milliliters of saline. If it's orange, they require 1,000. If it's yellow, it requires 500, and if it's a pale yellow, it requires 250. If you are a combat medic, you cannot put saline in a tourniqueted limb. Bandage the limb fully, remove the tourniquet, and then provide saline. Once the patient has a heart rate, inject them with epinephrine. Also, you cannot inject morphine or epinephrine in a tourniqueted limb. After the epinephrine has been applied, move on to step 4. Step 4. Evacuate the casualty. Carry and place the casualty into a medevac or combat vehicle. Blood, plasma, and saline all do the same thing with Ace Medical. There are 4 bandages: basics, packing, elastics, and quick clots. Elastics and quick clots are the best bandages with Ace Medical. Quick clots for durability and elastics for efficiency. So if you are a combat medic, carry both. If in combat, use quick clots. If you need to treat wounds quickly, use elastics. If you are combat personnel, do not carry elastics, just carry quick clots because the durability is more useful than the efficiency of the elastics. Epinephrine helps the patient wake up from unconsciousness, while morphine treats pain of a patient that is already awake. Lastly, if you are a combat medic, you will need to worry about personal aid kits. In order to give somebody a personal aid kit, they need to be brought to a healthy medical state. So after every single firefight, always check your personnel, make sure everybody has a personal aid kit applied to them, and you should be good to go. And that is the basics of Ace Medical in 4 easy steps. Thanks for stopping by.